while you do it, Fighter will do the intro. Welcome, people. This is Melvin Carter. If this your first time ever meeting me, I am an entrepreneur, life and business strategist, author, speaker, award-winning speaker, and trainer. And what I do is I get people moving forward. I break down stuff so simple so people can just get out their own way. Get out their own way. And so they can have the life of abundance in which they were designed to have, and also have the resources to flex when they need to flex, because they coming from information that will empower them instead of to disempower. So my thing is, today we are going to talk about entrepreneurship. Having control of your income, having control of your destiny, setting up generational wealth so your kids can have something and your grandkids can have something long after you done passed and left this earth. And at the same time, believe it or not, build their self-esteem up. Build their self-esteem up. Because I'm going to tell you something now. It's been a pleasure and an honor to having sons that can see their father and they seen their grandfather and their great-great-grandparents with businesses that they sit here and taking control of their financial stuff. So it makes it easier for them to get into entrepreneurship because they have seen somebody doing it. Now, in saying that, you thinking about starting your own business. Big Mama sit here and told me, I'm going to tell you this little story. Years ago, when I was 18, 19 years old, and I didn't go to school right after college. That's okay, because I think with college or anything like that, you have to have a mindset for it. And a lot of times people get dragged right into college without working, and then they come out and do anything, but they got a lot of student debt because they don't know the reason why why they should have had a little plan before they went into college. But not knocking anyone, but I'm just sitting here saying. And Big Mama sit here and told me, and matter of fact, my great-grandfather Shada told me, baby, and this is when I was 12, baby, you need a plan B. I said, okay, plan A, plan B. Okay, we're going to alphabets right quick. And then my great-grandfather said on the other side of the table, he said, no, baby, you need maybe a C and a D too. And he was talking about multiple streams of income. And one of the things they learned coming out of the Great Depression was you need to have multiple streams of income. And don't live over your means. And all that good stuff that still should be, I think it's more principle universal than anything else, because the simple fact is nothing changes that much, mainly when it coming down to money, because we see people that live over their means a lot and then we find out they bankrupt because they found out they don't own the things they had said they own it because the banks own them. I digress. So they was talking about multiple streams of income. Big Mama sit here and Shada sit here and told me that even though if I'm working a job, my next source of income should be something that I can control. Even though I might be working a job. Now I'm only 12. I had a paper route. I was in school. Okay. Even though I was working a job, my next source of income should be something that I can control. Why? It's because at the end of the day, freedom is the name of the game. At the end of the day, freedom is the name of the game. And then it's how you get your freedom. And how you get your freedom is more important than anything else. And I'm talking about legally and ethically and everything else. And I always throw that in because I don't want you to get in no presumptuous attitude that I'm talking about anything necessary, by any means necessary. I'm talking about doing things legally, where you can have credit and character and credibility to continue on moving forward. So what happened was, when I got out of high school, my father had a taxi cab business. I started working for a bank. So my next side hustle was driving the cab. Drove the cab because I can sit here and where people are talking about $15 an hour, and this is 30 years ago, $15 an hour, I was making $15 within 15 minutes. Because the only thing I need is one good run to the airport at the time. And one run to the airport was in 15, 20 minutes of Charlottesville. Or from Charlottesville to the airport was 15, 20 minutes, depends on traffic. I made $20. Okay? Do it a couple of times, 40. You only working 3 hours, let's say 3 to 4 hours, because I was working part-time, 3 or 4 hours. You walk away with about $80 to $100. Or you might get one good run, which at one point in time I was getting good runs going across 25 miles out. 25 miles out was $60. 60 bucks, 60 to $80. And you do that turn around. So this is the reason why I'm sitting here saying your second income is something that you can control. And at the same time, yes, I still had to pay gas. And then at the time I was paying lease. I was paying lease like $15 or something like this. It was a low amount, $15. But I'm walking around with cash in my pocket, and so that stuck with me. So then I ended up. My wife ended up getting pregnant. My wife ended up getting pregnant with our first son. And they said, "Oh, you need a job with benefits. You need a job with benefits," and all this other stuff. This is one of the things when you follow your family, because you following your family. So you ended up leaving the bank. Because I left the bank, went full time with the cab. Left the bank, went full time with the cab, and then I ended up because I figured it's like this: if I can sit here and make $500, $600 in 1 week. And I'm only making bringing home $600 every 2 weeks at the bank, and the bank was monopolizing my time. That's how I looked at it. Monopolizing my time. It was best for me to go ahead and do the cab. And this was right before the 1990-91 recession, which I didn't know anything about cycles of money, in which you should not have been in something that you're getting paid 100% commission on. You should have something that was a little bit more steadier. So at the same time, my wife got pregnant with our first son, and I ended up going to work for the University of Virginia Alumni Association. I stayed there for 11 years, but at the same time, I met caterers and everything else, and I ended up doing that on the side because I can control that time. Because I can say, no, I'm not available. Yes, I'm available. And I picked up network marketing while I was there too, so it was another third source of income. But the biggest thing was I was a dabbler, and at the same time, dabbling doesn't make you a lot of money. Focus do. Focus and action. So you want to be able to focus on what you want to do. And of course, 11 years later, I got laid off at Alumni Hall, but I was clear. I was more focused and I was clear on the things that I wanted to do than I would ever been. And I even then started to niche it down. Best thing that ever happened to me is to get laid off. Because sometimes we get complacent in where we are. In a bad relationship, or in a bad business, or as an employee, we get comfortable in bad things so easy because those become our new normal. And I think that one of the things that I've learned is always be uncomfortable with change. Always get comfortable. Get comfortable with change. Everything is always changing. Relationships come and go. Jobs come and go. Businesses go in and out of business. And get comfortable with change. Now, in saying that, stay ahead of change. See things coming. You don't want to get blindsided. That's where people get emotional, too emotional, because when they get blindsided, they didn't see it coming. I seen a Uber and a Lyft come to the taxi cab industry, which they only got a niche. They got young, I call them young and dumb, kids that don't think. Because just 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you wouldn't pull out a credit card and at least upload it to a company that you did not even know. Now you're doing it without even hesitation, and now they controlling your money on making you stay longer than what you're supposed to stay at a stop, or if you decide to cancel, they're going to charge your card anyway. Things that cab drivers didn't do or wish we could have done. Just a spill. But at the same time, it is like I was talking to other cab drivers. It's here to stay. It's going to stay some shape, some form. It's going to be here some shape, some form. Even if Uber or Lyft don't last. Even if Uber or Lyft doesn't last. It's going to be here some kind of shape, some kind of form. Because GM trying to do it, Ford trying to do it, Chrysler trying to do it. Because that's where technology is going. So you got to stay ahead of your trends and look at market changes. That's where your money going to be at. Then at the same time, I'm just rambling a little bit. At the same time, with building your business and looking at your markets and where you want to go, you don't want to leave your business. And this is the course that I have. This is a course that I have coming up. Called From Employee to Entrepreneur. Because I've seen people have recklessly sit here and jump before they jumped, or jump before they needed to, jump at the wrong time because they had a $5,000 or $10,000 month in their business. They decided I can do this full time, and did not know the cycles of their business. So then they gave if you have a family, so you gave up everything and put your family at risk because the simple fact is you jumped too soon. At the same time, or you stayed on your job too long, and so then you start losing. So then you're working out of scarcity and fear and shoulda, coulda, and you stressed out and all this other stuff because the bigger money you didn't go for because of the job, because you gotten settled, like I was talking about earlier, because you gotten settled in your position or in your situation. However, in going in that, you have to sit here and get to a point where when you start a business, learn all you need to learn about why you're doing it. And it got to be more than about money. If you can do it, if it's something passionate, you can do it without you getting paid at the beginning. Are you willing to put the time in and the financial resources in to get committed? Because you got to put your money where your mouth at and get it done while you're holding on to your full-time job. And that's the nuts and bolts of from an employee into entrepreneur. Because the simple fact is, I'd rather, and to give you a little heads up, I'd rather for you to make $60,000 on your job and make $60,000 from your business. That's $120,000. If you let one of those, either the business or the company on the job go, you only have 60. You can do more. You can do more with more money than you can do with less money. And then we talk about your debts and what's the difference between debt, good debt and bad debt, and how you want to, or how you should position yourself to have, if you have anything that's good that's going to actually pay you and put money in your pocket, and how to eliminate the bad debt and take some of the risk when you do take that jump. When you do take that jump, you're in a financial position of strength and then becoming weak. Because a lot of times there's people do it and they become weaker because they have a lot of debt. And going back to me, myself, when they laid me off at Alumni Hall because of Big Mama, told me about minimizing bad debt and everything else. I came out and I didn't have a car payment, but I had a nice car. My mortgage was less than right around $500, a little bit $540. I can actually remember $547 a month. That was my mortgage. Someone said, "Whoa," but that's a few years back, and then she sold me the house. So she sold me the house. So I didn't need a whole lot to sustain myself. And then I talk about that story in my book, Why Me, Why Now. But it's just one of those things where you need to have a strategy and moving forward, and that's all you need. You need a strategy and an action plan, and then execution. A strategy, an exit plan, and execution. Because you need to be able to act. You need to be able to act and act quickly, and you need to be able to act with your mind freed. Because your bills are paid at home. Then you'll take action faster and quicker, and then if you worried about how to make sure the rent was getting paid or the mortgage getting paid or your utilities or something like this, you will take action a whole lot faster when you know you're in control. But when that stuff is paid. So that's my spiel. Why you want to become an entrepreneur? You should become an entrepreneur, but in what area, what niche? Now, this is where, if you're serious about it, if you're totally serious about becoming an entrepreneur and you want to sit down with me, I have a 90-minute session. It runs for $275. $275. Because you're on this podcast and you've been listening to me and hopefully you was gaining value out of it. I will sit here. If you do one thing, email me at info@melvincarter, and I will sit there and send you a promotional code for 50% off. Now, this is only until October 31st of 2019. October 31st of 2019. A 50% promotion code. We'll go through a 90-minute session. Get your plan and your strategy right on moving you forward. If you find value in this, then they'll break it down to $130, right at $130. $130. But you have to email me at melvincarterjr.com and say, I want in. And you have until October 31st to do it. And we'll schedule a 90-minute strategy session and get you going. But besides that, until next week, peace and love to you, prosperity in every area of your life, your health, your wealth, and your relationships. And let's get you moving on, moving forward. God bless.